Omniframe commented on my I guess you could say like my eulogy for John Romita Sr., saying that without Romita, Spider-Man would not be what the character is today. And that's like 113,000,000% accurate. I don't think anyone can undersell just how pivotal Romita Sr.'s contribution to Spider-Man was. Because here's the thing with Spider-Man. When Spider-Man was created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, really Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, but when Spider-Man was created by Steve Ditko and Stan Lee in the early 60s, he was a character who was wound really tight. You know, he's a character that was just a ball of insecurity and resentment and anger and angst. And it's kind of perfect that Steve left the book when he did. Because Steve Ditko leaves the book just as Peter Parker is going to college. And when John Romita comes onto the book, John Romita is a classic romance comics artist. So his whole thing was, look, I respect, Spider-Man, angst, anger, the schism between the classes, proletariat, the bourgeois, blah blah blah. I'm trying to draw some titties though. I'm trying to draw some beautiful women and some really attractive men hanging out with beautiful women. That's my whole thing. That's what I was doing in the 40s. That's what I was doing in the 50s. That's what I'm trying to do here with Spider-Man. And it really opened up the character. And, I mean, the foundation of, like, Peter being an angsty, angry guy was still kind of there. But, like, he kind of opened up through Romita's artistic lens and narrative storytelling. Which is, like, weirdly perfect because it reflects real life in that way. Not for everybody, but there are definitely a lot of people in the world who go through high school and they are these very isolated, very lonely, very bitter because they're lonely kind of souls that are just kind of running off of resentment and anger and angst. But by the time they get to high school, no, not high school, by the time they get to college and graduate high school, a lot of just, like, the superficial stuff that they're, like, freaking out about, like, oh my god, who's going to prom? Oh my god, I got an A on my exam, but I didn't get a chance to talk to Sally. Oh my god. Like, all that stuff just kind of goes away because you start to worry about more real world problems, like, oh my god, my parents are getting old and I'm getting old, and oh my god, what's going to happen to them when I'm not there? What's going to happen to me when they die? Because you start thinking about mortality more, because now you have to think about self-preservation, because you're an adult in the real world, and you have to get a job, and you also have to balance, college, if you're going to college, and college is expensive, and your mind just starts thinking about different things. So, like, some of the superficial stuff just kind of goes away, at least in your mind, and you start to build this confidence because you're not really hung up on the little stuff anymore. So, like, you start finding yourself, and then that confidence just attracts a whole new crew of people. It's college, it's college, and I mean, I'm not projecting at all when I say that, but, like, it's college, and John Romita brought that energy to Spider-Man. He took Peter out of a lot of that, like, bitter teenage angst and resentment, and, like, put him into, like, an adult kind of, like, more mature setting. And I think if you ask anybody who was working on Spider-Man at the time, they probably say that's like a happy accident, but it worked out wonderfully. Like, I don't think you can undersell how well that worked, and how well the companion pieces, because I view them as companion pieces, the Ditko run and the Romita run lay the groundwork for the character moving forward. So I don't have anything to drink here, but I guess I'll just grab this hand sanitizer and say, to you, John Romita Sr., to you and your contributions to the character of Spider-Man, and pour one out for the homies, and bottoms up.